Keeping the apparent tradition of Fox News getting hit with fines alive, the network has today agreed to pay $12 million to former Tucker Carlson producer Abby Grossberg, who'd come out and accused the network of creating a hostile work environment, workplace discrimination, and coercing her into providing false testimony in a deposition. Grossberg came out today with a statement saying, quote, "I'm hopeful based on our discussions with Fox News today that this resolution represents a positive step by the network regarding its treatment of women and minorities in the workplace." Although I would add that I don't think Fox is doing much of any soul-searching when it comes to their treatment of women or minorities, but it's always nice to see them forced to part with millions of dollars regardless. In her lawsuit, Grossberg alleged that Carlson and other male producers on the show regularly used vulgar language to describe women and made anti-Semitic remarks. There are a lot of disturbing details in the lawsuit to back up her claims, such as staffers allegedly plastering oversized images of Nancy Pelosi in a bikini throughout the office. Because remember, family values. Grossberg had accused Fox of passing her over for promotions and giving her less desirable assignments because of her gender. She also alleged that Fox failed to take action when she complained about the harassment and discrimination, and she added that she was told by Human Resources that, quote, "This is just the way things are at Fox News." Although, in Fox's defense, I'd imagine just about anyone could have told her that that's the way things are at Fox News. And of course, Grossberg's lawsuit came at the same time that Fox was in the throes of the Dominion lawsuit, which would ultimately be settled for a record $787 million. And just like that lawsuit was predicated on the raft of lies and liars that Fox platformed around the 2020 election, Abby Grossberg also recounted details of that same phenomenon as part of her own lawsuit.
I found it difficult to cover the kind of stories that they wanted me to cover. I wasn't expecting it. Maybe I should have. That's what some people say. But, for example, right toward the end of my time there, when the January 6 tapes were coming out, Tucker was very set on finding an FBI person who was implanted in the crowd and spinning this conspiracy that they were ultimately the ones responsible for the Capitol attack, not Fox News, as they're about to go into the Dominion trial, that it was really, the FBI that set up this thing, not Fox telling the American people that the election was rigged and the voting machines did it. And when I went back to them and said, look, there's no conspiracy theory here. I called this attorney that's representing one of the Proud Boys, and he flat out told me on 2 occasions, there is no conspiracy. Get away from this stuff. This is dangerous. Tell Tucker to stop. I'll come on your show and represent my client, but I absolutely will walk off if he asks me this. And the response was, well, find somebody else. Tucker is really intent on this. And that wore on my mental health, too, because by that time, I had really begun to connect the dots that the programming that we were putting on the air every night was not just generating business, but also generating hatred in the audience. And after January 6th, I had this wake-up moment that this is hurting people. People are getting angry, and people are acting out on that anger, and this is not okay, and I don't want to be part of that.
So if you were wondering just how deep the rot ran at Fox, it's pretty damn deep. And keep in mind, both this $12 million settlement and the $787 million settlement aren't the end of Fox's legal troubles. There's still the impending Smartmatic lawsuit, which is for $2.7 billion, along with a shareholder lawsuit owed to the fact that Fox breached its fiduciary duty to its shareholders by allowing these lies to harm Fox's reputation and its finances in the first place. I'm starting to think that maybe predicating your entire brand on abject lies may not be such a smart long-term strategy. And it's not just Fox. What's worse for the right-wing ecosystem, Dominion and Smartmatic are both in the process of a series of additional lawsuits against a whole range of individuals and businesses. Dominion's reportedly pursuing litigation against Newsmax, One America News, Sidney Powell, Rudy Giuliani, and Mike Lindell. Smartmatic is reportedly pursuing litigation against Newsmax, One America News, Sidney Powell, Rudy Giuliani, and they're also going after Fox's Janine Pirro, Maria Bartiromo, and Lou Dobbs. As I mentioned, Fox is facing additional legal action, including a potential lawsuit from their own shareholders. So if you're wondering why the network suddenly seems very open to settlements, their massive legal exposure might help explain things. But I do want to be clear about one thing. Don't expect much of a culture change at places like Fox. The lies and obfuscation of facts aren't some fluke, they are the strategy. And so lawsuits like this one are priced in. For them, this is just the cost of doing business. Without the lies, Fox wouldn't have a business model. They wouldn't have the revenue to begin with. So if these infrequent settlements mean that Fox and other far-right outlets can continue to pepper their viewers with lies, then so be it. The settlements are a nuisance, sure, but the reason for those lawsuits is central to Fox's very existence. And who knows, maybe the sheer magnitude of these settlements will one day make Fox's business model untenable. But considering that Maria Bartiromo is still on the air, Jeanine Pirro, Jesse Waters, Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, and so many more of the most blatant, shameless liars, Fox is clearly not changing much. The difference now is that finally, those impacted by Fox's dangerous lies and behavior can see that the network isn't going to be able to slink away unscathed. So if they're going to lie, at least now they're going to have to pay for it. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to this channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on the screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.